What if I told you that one of the most iconic horror games ever made was reimagined, rebuilt, and re-released, but came back missing pieces? That a terrifying bioweapon named Nemesis almost broke the game and was nearly scrapped? Or that within this polished, explosive remake lies a graveyard of cut content, obscure developer choices, and hidden narrative threads most players will never see? Whether you've never touched a Resident Evil game, or you grew up on the PlayStation 1 original, this documentary breaks everything down. No hype, no spin, just the full story behind Resident Evil 3 Remake. Its highs, lows, and everything buried in the code. Let's dive into the secrets of one of gaming's most controversial remakes and why it still matters. Resident Evil started in 1996 as a survival horror franchise blending fixed camera angles, puzzle solving, and bioweapon terror. By the time Resident Evil 3 Remake launched in 2020, the series had shifted toward a more action-oriented style. This remake reimagines the events of the original Resident Evil 3, Nemesis set in the same timeline as Resident Evil 2. Resident Evil 3 Remake follows Jill Valentine, a former STARS officer targeted by Nemesis, an experimental bioweapon sent to eliminate her. The story takes place in Raccoon City, during its final hours before destruction. Co-protagonist Carlos Oliveira, a member of Umbrella Biohazard Countermeasures Service, plays a major role in assisting civilians and covering Umbrella's deeper involvement. The narrative is largely linear, but includes several small environment storytelling cues often missed, such as files referencing past games and timeline clues linking to Resident Evil 2. Resident Evil 3 Remake was developed by M2, a studio co-founded by ex-Platinum Games executive. It ran in parallel to Resident Evil 2 Remake and reused assets, including Raccoon City layouts, item models, and enemy animations. Development lasted less than 3 years, and Capcom prioritized fast pacing and cinematic presentation over length or puzzle depth. Early builds included a working clock tower segment, which was removed during final polishing. Jill's visual model is based on Russian model Sasha Satoba, but her voice and motion capture were performed by actress Nicole Tompkins. Carlos's appearance and behavior were significantly altered from the original. He was redesigned to appear more capable, with a modernized uniform and additional screen time. Nemesis was built with a new rig separate from Mr. X in Resident Evil 2 Remake. It features advanced tentacle physics and adaptive pathfinding through limited to specific segments. RE3 Remake is designed as a cinematic experience with faster pacing. Levels are linear, with branching segments minimized. Dodge mechanics were reintroduced and enhanced with slow-motion counter windows. Enemy variety was reduced compared to the original. Some types, such as Drain and Hunter, were retained, but others, like the giant Gravedigger, were removed completely. RE3 Remake excludes several areas present in the 1999 version. The clock tower was reduced to a brief boss arena. The graveyard and park were removed. Multiple random events and branching paths were cut. Data miners found unused references to these areas, along with placeholder files for scrapped enemy types. The reasons cited included time constraints, resource sharing with RE2, and a deliberate focus on action. The game uses Capcom's proprietary Resident Evil engine. It supports real-time lighting, facial scanning, and volumetric fog. Character animation is generated using a hybrid of motion capture and procedural physics. Jill's inventory menu features subtle lighting reflections consistent with environmental lighting in real time. Sound was designed with positional layering. Nemesis' footsteps and growls are directional, shifting based on location. The soundtrack includes reorchestrated themes from RE3, including variations on the save room and Nemesis themes. The voice cast recorded lines in isolation without full cutscene context, relying on direction from Capcom's localization team. Reception was mixed. Many praised visuals and pacing. Criticisms include the short length, missing content, and scripted enemy counters. Modders responded by restoring Jill's classic costume, adding missing areas from the original game using RE2 assets, and enhancing difficulty scaling. Unofficial mods also restored random elements removed from the original's live selection system. RE3 Remake sold over 5 million copies globally by 2023. It was profitable and influenced Capcom's remake direction, including decisions made for Resident Evil 4 Remake. It also led to debates about preservation versus reinterpretation in remakes. It remains one of the shortest modern Resident Evil games, with a completion time of 5 to 6 hours on average. Resident Evil 3 Remake is a compact, action-focused reinterpretation of a classic. It's technically impressive, narratively streamlined, and divisive among series veterans. Regardless of where you stand, it's a valuable piece of the franchise's evolution. Whether you're here out of curiosity or nostalgia, now you know what makes this remake tick, both on the surface and deep under the hood.